Welcome to the second episode of Apollo Talks, a show where we dive into the masterminds behind the Apollo University. I am Dr. Jishnu, currently pursuing my MBA in Hospital and Healthcare Management. Today, we are joined by a man whose impact in academia spans over 3 decades, an academician and a visionary administrator, Professor M. Potharaju, the Registrar of the Apollo University, Chittoor, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome to the show, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for spending time for us, sir, first of all. And today we are here to get a long-awaited insights from you for the long-awaited questions.
Most welcome.
So, as we begin the session, sir, you've spent years shaping students' life at the Apollo University. But let's just rewind. How was your own BTech life as a student? Any mischievous memories that you would like to share with us, sir?
I'm happy to share that. I graduated in the year 1985 from a college known as Bapatla Engineering College. And it's a great memory for me. Not mischievous, but many. It's mixed feelings, not only mischievous. And it taught me more lessons. And frankly speaking, one day which I can still remember is the day which changed my entire life. Especially, it is the first college. The college was started with our batch. We are the first batch of the students. You know what are the difficulties which you come across when the first batch of students. And we are the first batch of students. In the third year, we wrote the examinations for GATE examinations. At that point of time, GATE is a very nobody knows what is GATE, and it's not that very popular as of now. And we wrote the GATE examinations, and I am one among the very few people got succeeded in the third year itself. It's a great memory for me, which changed my entire life. Like I never thought that I'm going for MTech. I thought that only I'm doing some business or real estate, something else. Because being a civil engineer, I thought something like construction. But it changed my entire life. This is one memory which I cannot forget in the entire life, which changed my life itself. That is the entire, completely the goal is changed. Second thing is some mischievous things what he just now mentioned, which is not a mischievous thing, but it is a memory for me. Usually we go by either bike or by bus or by cycle. It's a usual practice of commuting from our own place to the institute. But there is a special issue. There is a special case there, which we travel by cart. What is it? A flat cart. It's a flat cart. It's very popular there and pulled by a man. It's not like rickshaw, but it's a cart. Really enjoyed 3-4 people sitting on there, traveling for about 2 kilometers. Enjoyed the entire episode. That's a real. Still, there is in my mind. So there are two occasions. There are many things, but these are the two things which struck to my mind immediately.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So that gives us an insight of how a rebellious student life you had. So, sir, coming to the next question. For the listeners who might not be so aware of, what is it to be the registrar of the university, sir? The responsibilities and challenges that come along with this role. So, would you like to walk us in a day through in your life?
My journey as a registrar started in the year 2009. As a registrar of Geetham University, which is a deemed to be university, heading that institute with more than 10,000, more than 30,000 students, more than 1,500 faculty, more than 1,000 non-teaching staff members, and 3 campuses. It is a challenge. First time I took the challenge, and as a registrar, the main responsibility as a registrar is a custodian of the university. UGC says the custodian of the university, and it is a chief executive officer of the university who is the chief spokesman, that is official spokesman of the university. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, the directions of the Vice Chancellor is to be communicated to the public and through only the registrar. So there is a main role which any registrar has to do. And during this process, we come across many cases, like many challenges, maybe student problems, maybe faculty problems, maybe HR issues, maybe many issues we come across. And that is how the life is. And during this process, when I come across this, there are many pathetic situations, maybe in academic line from the students, maybe poor background of the student, maybe HR difficulty issues which you may have to face. All these things are regularly in Nepal. One day, I thought of coming to the campus, assuming that this day is my day. But when I start my campus, when I start on the day, it's not my day. I'm not, because I'm expected to work on the direction of the Vice Chancellor. So whatever the Vice Chancellor says, I need to do it. So my day, whatever I planned, completely gets shuffled and entirely I have to act as per the requirement of the university. So therefore, there is no hard and fast rule that I have to look at like this only. But beyond that, my close to my heart, apart from the registrar duties, what is known as your extracurricular activities. This is very close to my heart. Wherever I am there, I have a mark in this direction. That's why I take some time out of it from my entire academic schedule, starting from either 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whatever it is. I take my own time, spend some time in this, and make sure that I enjoy along with the students. That is my own. That is how I myself gets into it and get the regenerate myself every day. Every day I think of at least 1 or 2 extracurricular activities. This is my style of work.
Great, sir. Thank you so much for sharing them. It must be tiring few days now, sir. As you've mentioned, it would definitely not match with your expectations. So, how do you draw that balance between your job efficiency with that interpersonal relationship among the staff and faculty members, sir?
Yes, it's a, as I told you, my experience since 2009 is more than 12, 13 years, more than that 15, 16 years. I came across many, many issues, many difficult situations I faced, many difficult issues. Balancing the is only thing is only mantra is patience. Only mantra is patience. Have a patience, interact with the people, listen to them. Don't come to a jump to conclusions. Listen to them, have complete clarity, and then come to a conclusion and recommend to the higher authorities. As I told you, I am not authority to take any decisions. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I take the recommendations, decisions. I communicate the fact, placing before them by listening to the first of all the candidate who is coming. That is how I balance it. And as I told you, during this process, even if at all if I get any stress in this direction, I'll enjoy with my extracurricular activities, switching over to myself to either club activities or something else, and I enjoy like that.
Yes, sir. So, we don't know how many of you are aware, but sir is also the head of the Department of Psychology. So, what makes you interested to become the head of the Department of Psychology, sir?
Yes, it's not my choice, it's by chance.
Okay, sir.
It is by chance. The reason being, there is no real academic expert available in the institute at that point of time to lead the psychology department. But I enjoyed it. Since 3 years, I am leading the department and closely working with the department. And whenever I get stress, as I told you, any difficulties, usually I come across, I go to my department, discuss with them, and participate in all academic monitoring activities. Really, I spend some time with them and get all these problems. And most likely, the feedback which I get from the psychology department students is the main feedback which I get is useful for me in pursuing with some other activities, because I don't have a direct contact with the students. Mostly the students with whom I am in touch with is my psychology students, club activity students, NSS students. These are the students who come to me. I get the feedback from them and act accordingly. So coming back to the psychology department, once I took the charge, I made it sure that the department progresses well. I'm very happy that my program coordinator, Dr. Hasina, is very happily coordinating with me and doing very well job. And Bhaskar Naidu is the main pillar of the department who is guiding me. With the help of the Dean, School of Health Sciences, Dr. Raskar Reddy, we are now, I'm proud to say that we got RCA registration for BSc Psychology. So that is my achievement as far as the HOD is concerned. I'm happy for that.
Yes, sir, definitely. So, you've played a pivotal role in establishing student support bodies like the Science Activity Center, Kalakriti, and professional societies like IEEE and IETE. What drove you to initiate these, and which one amongst this is the most favorite and important to you, sir?
It's a difficult question to be answered, because favorite you answered. But everything is my brainchild. Everything is my brainchild. I'm proudly say this, because at one point of time when I took the charge as a 2019 as a registrar of a Geetham University, there is no student activities much available at that point of time, and they have good number of students. Apart from academics, there is no other avenue for the students. Though there is a social infrastructure available, there is no avenue for the students to perform or to showcase their talent. And they are getting deviated in different manners, like maybe through the cinemas or some different issues, unnecessarily getting into the troubles. And I thought this is the right time for me to jump in and then initiate some programs which channelize the energies of the students. In that context, I triggered some of the students. They came back to me with the first proposal of what is known as GUSAC, Geetham University Science Activity Center. I named it as a GUSAC, And that science activity center is the first thing which I initiated immediately after taking up charge, and which started with 10 number of students initially. They really made a change, From there, we started innovations. Now, I can say proudly, many of my students from GUSAC are having the startups. They have startups, succeeded, and chosen the path of entrepreneurship, and they have gone out from their core engineering group and doing some very good job in the entrepreneurship direction. There is one activity like GUSAC. Every annually we celebrate GUSAC annual day. It's a very big event. What we usually say in the entire campus is, one is convocation is the biggest event, second is foundation day is the second biggest event, third biggest event is GUSAC. That's how we grew up. And similarly, Kalakriti, it is a cultural body. Again, some few students usually used to do that in an unstructured way. I structured it, named it as a Kalakriti, and then I am proudly, I can say now, some cinema singers are there in the, I don't want to name them, but there are cinema singers from the playback singers from the cinema, from the industry, from the Geetam itself. This is the contribution which I made. And apart from that, co-curricular activities like IEEE, whatever that professional bodies which you have, apart from the some Young Minds of India, some groups, Track Club, these things have initiated. There are, I think, say around 20 to 25 initiatives I made it. They are doing wonders. Everybody is engaged with them, and all co-curricular activities in the form of IEEE, IEEE, Institute of Engineers. These things are making gave good what I call input to the students, having a good contact with the PR group in the entire fraternity of that particular core engineering, and they have done wonders. So this is what made me, and that's why I cannot name what is the favorite for me.
It is very inspiring to hear all the success stories, sir. Thank you so much for sharing them. And how do you balance of fostering academic excellence with the extracurricular vibrancy in the campus, sir?
Right. So it is as you know very well, I have started in 2009, forget about it. Now, coming back to 2025, any student, or rather any person who is at the age of 22 or 23, who is going for career opportunities, is under confusion. Whether he has to go to a core job or core discipline job or some other job. And even core discipline job also, people are not expecting only core competency. They expect some what you call interdisciplinary and extra curricular activities, which gives them a way for succeeding in their direction. Maybe even, for example, if you want to go to US, they look at what is your social commitment. Like, for example, NSS activities, what are the community services you have conducted. There is definitely there is good weightage. Like that, everywhere, core discipline competency is reduced to 50%, remaining weightage is given to all-round personality, which includes co-curricular, extracurricular, as I told you, community services, all these things play a role. That's why I took a decision on that day itself, making sure that every student should have both phases. One is competency, which is, of course, I call it a breathing. So if you want to live, you have to breathe. That means you should have some CGPA. You should have minimum CGPA, that is mandatory. And for giving a flavor to your life, you should have some extracurricular activities like 50% weightage. There is a reason why I definitely impose every student to follow both. That is why balancing is very important from the main core competencies to the extracurricular.
Yes, sir. Your work on strengthening industry-institute interactions is commendable. Can you share a success story or a milestone that is close to you, sir?
Yes. Again, there is one big story behind it. There is what is known as Industry Institute Partnership Cell, a scheme established by AICTE. During my early ages of career, I worked as a vice principal of an engineering college of the Geetam. There, I applied for a grant, and I got the grant under IIPC, there is Industry Institute Partnership Cell. Till that point, nobody knows what is the industry connection, how to get connected to them, how to identify the real people. This is a big challenge. Since I have a grant and I have authority like vice principal, I took it as a challenge. It is a 3-year duration program. I tried to get connected to all industry by identifying each faculty from each department, and identifying them, triggering them to identify the different placement or different industry groups, getting contacted them, bringing them here, organizing some programs. There is a real initiation which I took. That is the first thing which I should say. It is a great feel for me, great proud feeling for me. That triggered the industry institute interaction. Small way. I started in a small way, getting connected, calling the resource persons, giving guest lectures, interacting with them. The how it stood, we took a challenge. Finally, it triggered into placements. Finally, it triggered into internships, and then where the industry institute interaction took a great shape, and then each department also started interacting with the industries and gave a good what you call mileage to the Geetam also.
Yes, sir. That is very inspiring to hear, sir. So, Professor, we are calling this a quick build, a lightning round where you give rapid answers. So, the questions begin. A student club that you would like to join if you are a student again.
It's again all 28 clubs are very close to me, but given a chance, yes, I am interested to join in event management club.
Oh, great, sir. And then, most memorable campus movement at the Apollo University.
Most memorable occasion is last when I joined in 2022 in Apollo. There are 120 students of allied health science batch. Vice Chancellor and myself wanted to initiate some co-curricular activities in the form of clubs. Then we thought how to initiate. I am new to the system, and the 120 students are there, only belong to allied health sciences. They have gone to the class, addressed all of them in the presence of Assistant Director Shawnee, gave a lecture for about around, introduced myself, and then spoke about the different extracurricular activities about 15-20 minutes, and asked the students to come out with some different activities in the form of clubs. Surprisingly, to my surprise, out of 120, they proposed around 12 clubs.
Wow.
It's the first time I interact with the students, could able to inspire. The really first step which I took it, is now grown to 28. So it is a very memorable occasion for me as a registrar.
Yes, sir. So, one word students used to describe you.
Mentor.
Mentor. Yes, sir, definitely. Have you heard about any rumor about yourself, sir, from the students or from the faculty? Any rumor that you think this would have been much better if this is not a rumor?
Usually, you know very well, nobody comments before me.
Yes,
Because
sir.
as long as I'm in the chair, nobody comments me before
Yes.
me. I even never heard about any negative comment also as far as that is concerned. But people used to say I'm a taskmaster.
Okay, sir. So would you take it as a compliment, sir?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
positively.
Great, sir. Great. So one dream project that you still want to launch at this university.
Yes, social infrastructure. My dream is social infrastructure, which is lacking in the Apollo. And of course, I'm on the way. The university administration looking seriously into this. We are trying to create some social infrastructure in the form of food courts, in the form of sports complexes, and also some restaurants. This is on the way. I'm sure within short notice of time we are going to enjoy this. This is my dream.
Yes, sir. Sir, and this question is from the students especially. So can we expect a fest this year, sir? This
First,
academic year. Fest, sir. Any fest, cultural or technical?
no, as usual, the decision of the university is very clearly every year there will be annual cultural
Yes,
day.
sir.
The mandate. So there is a combined AKC annual cultural.
Yes, sir.
And then each department can always organize any fest which is related to either technical or non-technical. They're allowed. Each school is permitted. But mandatorily every day, every year we'll have sports and cultural day. In future, if the campus grows, we'll separate it like sports day, cultural day, and one club day.
Yes, sir. Definitely. That will be great, sir. We'll be expecting more. And sir, this brings us to the end of the rapid fire question session, sir. Thank you so much. So coming back to the previous session, sir. Sir, if you had a chance, would you choose to be a registrar again, or would you rather study something else and pick up a different job, sir?
I enjoyed registrar. I want to be continued as a registrar. Not that it is because of the position. I enjoyed it because I have created many opportunities, because I have seen many success stories. And during the mentorship as a registrar in the position, I have many students who are very close to my heart. till today, even after 35 years of my service. Therefore, being a professor, of course, registrar is not a permanent position. It is an academician can hold this. So, being an academician as a professor, I'm very much happy to be again continue as a registrar position because I can contribute more to the student community.
Definitely, sir. So, Professor, you have held multiple roles over your career, from professor to registrar, vice principal to director of student affairs. What key lessons do you carry from each of these into your current role at the Apollo University?
Many. Truly speaking, the toughest job out of all this is director of student affairs. The toughest job is director of student affairs because the man who is at the position of man or a woman who is the director of student affairs has to handle crisis situations and as well as memorable, whatever the joyful situations. I cannot live it always in a joyful. It's a very crucial role which a director of student affairs can play. If you can do the job of director of student affairs, in my opinion, you can do any job in the entire university.
Yes.
So therefore, I love that job, and it is a great opportunity for anybody to take up that challenge. It is not that easy. As I told you, patience is the main thing. Dealing with a 22-year age, or 18 to 22 years of age boy or a girl is not that easy to understand the mindset of the students and tackle the problems. Therefore, I'm very happy for the director of student affairs position. That's what made me, gave me good lessons, good learnings, which I'm now trying to implement in the Apollo University also.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have a solid research footprint of 62 papers, international collaborations, 8 funded projects. Sir, if I'm not making you feel old, what keeps your research curiosity alive after all these years?
There is no end for research, as you know, and even at this stage, we continue to do the research because always the outcome inspires you. The outcome which inspires you. So you are targeting for something, and if you get the achieve that outcome, you always continue to do the spirit. Even 24 hours may not be sufficient for you to do the research. As an academician, as a researcher, if you identify any problem which is to be addressed, at the end of that, if it is going in the right track, and if you are going to be successful and as unsuccessful, the story is not going to end. You'll start up another problem and doing this, and publications, patents add value to your research and career profile, and also some funding agencies funding will give further momentum to your entire research. Therefore, there is no end for any research thrust of any individual, maybe 70 years or 80 years.
Yes.
I am one among them.
Yes, sir, definitely. So, this question that keeps many people curious is emphasis placed on club activities with academics. The faculty has made the participation in club activities mandatory for all the students, with maintaining a minimum of 80% in each club activity. So, I believe there must be some motive behind this. We would like to hear it from you, sir.
You might have got the answers from my entire discussion till now.
Yes, sir, yes.
Gathering everything, you can get complete picture. Emphasis is definitely 50% weightage in your entire career to the all-round personality, not core competence. So therefore, there is no other way to emphasize in not only on club activities but all-round personality. Apart from co-curricular activities, which I am not into, the departments are doing that job. And this club activities, as I told you, started in 2022 with a small 12 number of clubs, and then now we grown to 28 clubs. I am very active in the club group, which is WhatsApp club group.
Yes.
Because I enjoy every Sunday. I completely sit in the WhatsApp group and enjoy, because although I am not directly looking at watching the entire activities, but through virtually I am visiting it, and really happy to state as of now that I am 100% happy with the contributions of the clubs.
Yes.
And coming back to this your question of attendance, there is a main point here is maybe some people may not be interested to go to that club or go to this club unless they what you call experience it. Without looking at the club activity, just by seeing the name, people cannot come into a conclusion. What I make sure is they attend first of all. That is my mandate. They have to attend for one club. They experience it, and once they experience it, my assumption and my thought process and my goal is, in future, it will be self-driven by the students. That is my experience, and I have done like that. As of now, it is a mandatory, and faculty also will be there as a coordinator, but in future, student will act like a coordinator, and the entire clubs will be driven by the students. It is not going to be too far. I have seen 3 years, very good growth. Another 3 years, my goal is going to be achieved.
Yes, sir.
Then I am very happy.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the pressure is high around the months as the first BTech batch is going to graduate very soon. And there has been a question amongst the students regarding the placement scenario at the university. There seems to be a lack of clarity among them regarding the opportunities that are available, the kind of companies that visit, and the overall process. Could you shed some limelight about the placement that is being happening in the university, sir?
Yes, I'm very happy this question, because as a registrar, though it is not my prime job of placements in Geetham, I took it as a challenge and led the team. I led the team of placements. Though there is a placement officer, I used to review, I used to go to the companies, I used to request the companies to come. And one record is TCS taken 700 students in one batch. This is a record even now in Andhra Pradesh under my tenure, and which I took it as a challenge. So therefore, placements, direction of the placements, or whatever the leadership which you expect from the placement side, I'm happy. I'm happy that Vice Chancellor myself can give definitely a good leadership, and no need to worry about the placements of the Apollo University. And as of now, the present batch of students which are having this, we have already started training them, and the training process is on. And by the end of this next final, by the final year, definitely I am sure that everybody, most of the students who are going to be eligible will be definitely shown a path. And as I told you, the competencies, especially, people now are good confusion whether to go for the main job or a peripheral, some other job which is not relevant to them. That is all depends on the individuals. There is a reason why we initiated something like a minor programs. We initiated these club activities so that whatever their interest, they can pursue further, and we handhold them. Our career counseling cell is also there. We handhold them, make sure that whether they go to the placements, entrepreneurship, or higher studies, we guide them and make sure that they are into the track. Yes. So therefore, I am very confident in the leadership that the placements will be on track, and no need to worry much about the placements in spite of the whatever the problem which you are now having in the industry. I am very much sure.
Thank you, sir. That will definitely boost confidence among most of the students. So this almost brings us to the end of the session, sir. So what is that one advice that you would like to give to young educators and aspiring academic leaders listening today to the podcast, sir?
Academic administrator, I don't want to straight away to say jump into the academic administrator, but as an academician, there is real challenges now. Nowadays, when we used to teach, or when we used to, for example, when we used to study, when I am at the age of 22, there is only one way of reading, there is only hard copies. And we used to take notes. And that notes is a guide for all of us. When you used to teach during that period of young age, again, there is maximum one computer is introduced at that point of time, nothing else. Not even internet is also introduced at that point of time. I am talking about 1990s. And at that point of time, the availability for the students is only textbook. The resource is only textbook. But now coming to this era, textbook is out of hand now, out of the scene. Everything is digital. So students are having better knowledge compared to the teacher. Advanced information is with the students because of the digital era where we are living. So it is a big challenge for the faculty. That means your mode of teaching has to meet the requirement of the students. As I told, they are well informed before coming to the class itself. They are well informed. They know what is the content to be delivered on the day. So they should be ready for taking up the challenge of questions. So therefore, I advise all the young teachers who are coming to the field and who are already in the job to take up this challenge positively and make sure that you orient the students as per their requirement and then meet their requirement. This is one biggest challenge as far as the students communities, as far as the faculty, young faculty who are going to coming to this field is concerned, apart from ChatGPT. I think you know very well, again, there is a ChatGPT which is another threat. So the educators which are in the field, like especially the faculty, should take into all these considerations, mold ourselves And finally, at the end of the day, no replacement for chalk and whiteboard. So that is the only main content. So you should always make sure that the students listen to your subject and attracting through your black and whiteboard and chalk piece. That is what is my main, what you call, message from my side.
Yes, sir. Sir, one word for the students who are aspiring to become a part of the Apollo family.
The Apollo family, as you know very well, is not a small family. It's a completely, we have actually we have started in the medical sector. Now they have expanded into the what you call education sector. Well, as of now, the university started in 2022. We are growing, bigger, 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 and you can see the changes which you made within the 3 years. So any person who wanted to be an Apollo family, he should feel like proud. That's what is the main goal of the Apollo University. That's how we are making it. Within the 3 years, the success stories, the achievements which we made is a testimony for it. By looking at that testimony, like what are the international collaborations which you have, and what are the internships which you took, what are the digital, what is the research centers which are established, number of publications which are produced, will speak about. So therefore, everybody should feel very comfortable to jump into the Apollo family.
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir. So thank you, Professor Potharaju, for giving us your time and sharing your vision and journey. Your blend of academic depth and administrative clarity is something every student and educator can draw from. So to our listeners, stay curious as we'll be back with an inspiring episode again. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.